Hey, Donna Schwartz here. In this video, I'm going to perform for you and give you a free video lesson, the tune, the piece, Minuet by Johann Sebastian Bach. Get the Bach in there. This arrangement's by Sigurd Rascher. Okay, this is normally a level 2 piece for NYSSMA, that's a New York State School Music Association. It could be a level 2 in other states as well. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to perform the whole thing, and then I'm going to go over some key performance points to help guide you through this performance. Okay, so this piece is, the tempo is written quarter note equals 132. Now here's the tempo. Let me get that a little louder. I apologize, there's been a truck outside for the last hour. It's driving me nuts. Hopefully you can't hear it. That's your quarter note, okay? Now, this is going to feel pretty fast when you perform this. The first thing you do is not stick the thing in your face and try to play the tune. No, what you want to do is listen to a performance of this. Now, I'm glad that you're watching this YouTube video so you can hear a saxophone performance of this, but this piece is from the Little Notebook for Anna Magdalena, so it's a very popular piano piece. So you can easily find a piano recording of this, so this way you get a sense of what the rhythms are, what the piece is about, what the phrasing is. Remember, phrase is a musical sentence. So first thing, listen to a recording. Not just once, not just twice, not even just 3 times. You want to listen to the recording over and over and over again. You want to listen to that recording enough times before you attempt to play it, so that when you're ready to play it, you know what it's supposed to sound like. Now, once you've listened to a recording enough times, by the way, my music's over here, that's why I'm looking at it. You want to then not play along with the recording yet. You want to take the first 1, 2, 3, 4. I'd say take that first line. You got a lot of stuff going on in there. Definitely take that first line, and you're going to do air sounds and fingerings with the metronome on really slow. I'm going to say, believe it or not, I'm going all the way down to 60 for your quarter note. So here's what you're going to do. I'm not going to prescribe, do this 10 times before you play it. No. You want to do air sounds and articulation and fingering enough so that your fingers know where they're going. And so you're not thinking about what you're doing here. You're thinking about making music. So first few times at 60. I would definitely say take those first 4 measures and do that 1.5 million times. Don't forget the half. The reason why? That motive, that repeats many, many times. And there's a couple of tricky jumps in there too. You've got the G going down to the A, back up to the F sharp. It's pretty cool. If you look at that, that starts off with a G arpeggio. Now, if you're not sure what I'm talking about, well, you should know how to play your G scale in order to be able to play this piece. So when you play your G scale, every note, think of every note having a number. You could also think of it as do, re, mi, right? So G is do, A is re, B is mi, C is fa, D is so, E is la, F sharp is T, and G is do. And for an arpeggio that's in a major chord, you're going to think do, mi, so, do, G, B, D, G, Guess what? Those are your first 4 notes. There's your arpeggio right there. Now, it jumps down to the A and back up to the F sharp. That's pretty cool. I kind of like that. It's kind of fun, but it's a little tricky. So, you're going to practice your G scale really slowly. Go back down to the A and bop back up to the F sharp. What you can also do with this is do something called interval exercises. And whenever I assign this piece to my students, I make them play interval exercises. What does that mean? My G, my low G is going to be my constant note. And every other note is going to go up a note of the G scale. So I'm going to go, let me just use do, re, mi's because it's easier. Do, re, do, mi, do, fa, do, so, do, la, do, ti, do, do. That's the first half of my interval exercises. On the saxophone, it sounds like this. Do it all in one breath as best as you can. Slur the entire thing and try to make your sound as even as possible. Also do that with a metronome. I should have put the metronome on. Now what I also do, I flip it around. I keep the high G as the constant and I go down the scale. So do, ti, do, la, do, su, do, fa, do, mi, do, re, do. Got a little out of tune at the end. Sorry about that. Okay, you get the idea though. And then I do it on the saxophone in one breath, slurred. And let's do this. Okay? Why am I doing that? Because that's going to make that jump a lot easier. Okay, a lot easier, especially that octave jump at the end there. Then you got another spot where you've got some jumps going down to low Ds, right? And that is in the middle of the tune. Actually go 1, 2, 3 lines up from the bottom. The last measure we have A, D, D, B, D, like that. Like that, and I think, yeah. Okay, so you have that little jump as well. But you also have another jump to the low D, the 1, 2, 3, the 4th line down from the top, here, first measure. And guess what? When you have something once, you usually have it twice. That's the last, that's a very, very last part of the last phrase. So you have a C to a D. Now, what I would say to you is, you could do another interval exercise in the key, well, it's not even going to be in the key of D, it's going to be in the key of G, but you're starting on the low G. Check it out. So I'm going to go D, D, F sharp, D, G, D, A, D, B, D, C natural, D, D, D. Okay, I'm not doing a complete major scale there. All right, I'm actually doing a Mixolydian scale. So that's another type of interval exercise you can do to help you with this piece. It'll sound something like this. Let me get the metronome on again. You get the idea. Okay, so those are two little tips that I would recommend for those big interval jumps. Now, one thing I need for you to do is take out your handy dandy pencil, take that out. The second line up from the bottom, there's a mistake. Always take a pencil, not an erasable pen, no. It doesn't fully erase, all right? Those things are a pain in the neck. Take out a pencil. The second line up from the bottom, the 1, 2, 3, the fourth measure, right after the breath mark, it's written A, B, D, G. That's a G. So that first note in that measure right after the breath mark, it's a G. Draw on a G, write G, okay? Circle it, right? It wouldn't make sense if it was an A. Let me see something. No, it's a G, okay? So what you're gonna do, write down G in the piano accompaniment. Find the spot, you know, where your saxophone solo is, G, make sure the G is there. If you give the judge another full copy of the score, which includes your part, and you give the judge your part, write it in that part too and initial it, or have your teacher put their initials there too. Any changes that you make to your part that will affect your performance, always notate in pencil and initial, okay? Just a little note for you. No pun intended. Note. Ha! All right, anyway. Okay, so that's the next thing. What I find that's really important in this piece, it's not how fast can you play it. It's not a day at the racetrack. It's really how expressive you can be, okay? If you hear a good piano performance of this, you'll know what I'm talking about. Again, and I keep using this analogy in all my videos, you tend to tune off people that talk in a monotone all the time and have no expression in their voice, and you don't know when they're going to stop. You're waiting for them to breathe till you have something to say, and it's really frustrating because they don't stop talking. I know people that talk like that, and I'm waiting for them to breathe, and they don't even breathe. It's annoying. Anyway, don't play like that. So the thing is, behind this piece, there's very few dynamic markings in this. So you want to do it yourself. You notice the way I'm talking right now. I don't want you to take note of my unsteady way that I'm talking. That's actually a way to get your attention. When you play music, it should be steady. But you notice that I'm not talking in a monotone. Sometimes I'm a little louder, sometimes a little softer. So when you're playing this piece, just ignore my really bad singing, but you get the idea. Do something with it. Make it expressive. If you make it boring, well, you know, what can I tell you? So, now what I like to do whenever I get to the ba-da-da-da-da on the A, I tend to slow down just a pinch, very little bit. It's sort of like I'm ending a sentence, and then I go on. Okay, and you're going to notice that I did that in the recording, 2 lines up from the bottom, after I went. Okay, you notice that I did that, right? For me, it just felt right. And what I would suggest to you, if you want to do that and you like that, take out the pencil, ta-da! Write down, second line up from the bottom, on that A dotted half note, write down R-I-T dot, and write it in the piano score as well. You're just slowing it down a little bit. And then the very next measure on the notated G that you wrote, right above that, a tempo, capital A, separate word, tempo, T-E-M-P-O. That means back to the original tempo. Okay, so that's just a little stylistic note. You don't want to blast this piece, but like I said, you want to do the phrasing. You have your peaks of your phrase, and then your decrescendos, so that we know that the phrase is ending. So put some style into it. You know, don't blast it, just put some style, say something with it. Okay, so I have a PDF link below this with a copy of the interval exercises and some of the other key performance points, so definitely download that, check it out. I do hope that you enjoy this video and that it will help you to perform this solo better for wherever you're performing it, whether it's NYSSMA or any other solo festival, even a recital. That's really cool. That's awesome. Okay? Now, if you are going to NYSSMA or your solo festivals and you want to really have an edge on those auditions and you want to learn more about how to plan your practicing so that you're more efficient with your practicing, you're practicing better, if you want to learn how to prepare for performances mentally, okay, meaning that, you know, what if you suffer from stage fright, right? And it really just like, you know, freaks you out. Well, I have a product called, you ready? Drum roll. NYSSMA Demystified. Everything you need to know to nail that audition. Now, this is geared towards people in New York going to NYSSMA, but it can benefit people going to other solo festivals as well. Because I do talk about planning your practices, I talk about preparing for performances, dealing with stage fright, breathing exercises and quick fix techniques to help you. But I also have students that have been very successful with their NYSSMA auditions, having gotten into all county, all state, and even all Eastern number of times, speaking to you about how they prepare. And I have little mock auditions in there too, just little snippets of pieces, so you see how those students are performing, their body language, all that kind of stuff. Everything comes into play. Think about it this way. You ever watch like The Voice or American Idol? Now when you're watching, you're forming opinions about the performers. We all do, it's natural, you know, it's as long as you're not being nasty about it, which that I can't stand. But you're forming opinions. The thing is this, when people walk out onto the stage and they're really like, you know, scared and their body language shows it, you kind of feel scared too. But if someone walks out with confidence, you're like, wow, this is gonna be really cool, without even like recognizing that thought. So my product, NYSSMA Demystified, everything you need to know to nail that audition, addresses those types of things. And also, later on, if you decide to go to NYSSMA Jazz, I talk about that a lot as well, because I've been judging NYSSMA for a long time and NYSSMA Jazz as well. So I'm trying to give you some insight to help you perform your solos better and to feel more comfortable. I'm very anal retentive also, so I tell you what to do months before, a couple of weeks before, the day of, and after. All right, so again, NYSSMA Demystified, everything you need to know to nail that audition. You can find all this stuff on my website at www.donnaschwartzmusic.com. I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, check out my website, subscribe there too, check out my product, and I hope you again enjoyed this video. Have a great performance, good luck, and take care. Have a nice day.